12 laps then. The 400 Supersports, everyone's safely away. 1 or 2 wheelies, and Fogarty, number 31, hits the front off the line, followed by Whittam and young Jason Vincent. And there was a KR1 Kawasaki in there as well. So it looked as though a Kawasaki made 4th place as they stream off down the hill. Carl Fogarty, though, from Blackburn, number 31, hit the front. Jamie Whittam, they've already stretched out just a little bit. That's Steve Ives now, the yellow of Steve Ives in 4th. An amazing start from Fogarty.
Well, Carl Fogarty certainly knows how to get a machine off the line, whether it be a 400 or a 750. He's very, very fast. Very, very quick reactions, get the clutch out, and Jamie Whittam has a look on the inside but decides better of it. Carl Fogarty is going to be a hard man to beat. His first couple of laps, I would have said, would be to get himself into riding this totally different machine, but he's not losing any ground, or it doesn't seem so, to Jamie Whittam, so it hasn't taken him long to make the adaptation. Oh, have I said something too soon? But no, he still holds first position.
4-stroke Honda, number 31, leads 2-stroke Suzuki, number 69. Then it's a 4-stroke Yamaha, number 1, Steve Ives, and another Suzuki in the hands of Jason Vincent, followed by his brother Max Vincent, number 9. So number 9, the Vincent brothers are locked in a little tussle, but look at this, as through into the front goes Jamie Whittam, 3 abreast. It's Whittam, Fogarty and Steve Ives. So early in the race and such frantic action, they really mean business.
Yeah, well, Carl Fogarty wasn't going to give in there, but Jamie Whittam had got the run on him up the hill there. It looked as though the Suzuki was a little faster, but Carl Fogarty is on the inside again now, Whittam on the outside. I'm sure it's Fogarty's line. Yes, and he holds it. Whittam looks for the outside, but this meanwhile, he's letting Steve Ives have a look on the inside.
Ives having a very sensible look up the wide gap there that was being offered by the dice that's ensuing between these two. Carl Fogarty, number 31, and 69, Jamie Whittam. Whittam then from Huddersfield in 2nd place. Steve Ives from Hyde in Cheshire, the window fabricator when he's not racing motorcycles, number 1 in 3rd. But Carl Fogarty, the man with a wealth of experience out there in front. At Grand Prix level 2, he put his toe in the water at Donington Park at Grand Prix in 1990, but is much better adapted to the 4-stroke super sports category and the superbike category.
And bad news for Jim Moody. Jim Moody's in the pits, 2nd in the championship. Unfortunately, he will score no more points here today.
Well, that's an upset for Moody. Fogarty sits up. Moody coasting in, number 15, so pole position man is out of the race, won't add anything to his tally. So with only one more round to go at Mallory Park, Jim Moody's got it all to do. Meanwhile, Carl Fogarty, with 0 points so far in this championship because he hasn't ridden a 400 Honda, is really showing these two what 400 Supersports racing all about. The 2-stroke of Whittam, sandwiched then between the Honda of Fogarty and the Yamaha of Steve Ives, and there's nothing between them.
These very evenly matched machines, albeit they're totally different. We have 2 4-strokes and a 2-stroke machine. Jamie Whittam, number 69, on the 2-stroke bike. Fogarty on the V4 4-stroke machine, and Steve Ives on the inline 4-stroke machine. So totally different, but as you can see, the performance is very, very similar. Riding style's quite different. Fogarty is a hard charging rider, as I say, just got off his 750 machine, so making the transition to this machine is quite incredible, and his first 2 laps were going to be the hardest, but he seems to overcome that as Steve Ives looks to the inside of Jamie Whittam, but decides better of it.
Ives then in 3rd place, had his first trip to the Isle of Man this year and finished 6th in the 400cc Supersport race there. Had his first trip to the true road circuits of Northern Ireland in the Northwest 200 and a brace of runner-up spots. So a lot of talent, and what a pity it will be as Ives goes through like a rocket to take the lead. Just how quick was that Yamaha?
Well, Fogarty had a problem there. He either missed a gear or he hit the rev limit or something happened, because the both of them just shot past Carl Fogarty. And in the past, leading up to that part, Fogarty's been just as quick. He's got a problem, I'm sure. He's looked over his shoulder and he's dropping back all the while.
First and second then is all about this battle between Steve Ives, number 1, and Jamie Whittam, 69. Carl Fogarty, whatever his problem was, appears to have got it dialed in again because he's away and desperate to get back the lead. And Carl Fogarty alongside Jamie Whittam. Jamie Whittam puts his knee almost in the fairing of Carl Fogarty on the VFR 400 Honda. And these 3, well, it's unbelievable stuff. Down in 4th place, it's young Max Vincent. Jason Vincent, now number 5, is relegated to 8th place. Steve Reap is still 5th in the race. but really there might just as well be nobody else in the race, because 1, 2, 3, Ives, Whittam and Fogarty, and it's that close.
I'm sure that Carl Fogarty either missed a gear or he didn't change up a gear enough and hit the rev limiter, because the light just about stopped, and in fact Steve Ives came close into running in the back of him. But number 14's out there. Unfortunately, that's James Hayden, the young student. James Hayden's out of this race.
Hayden then, the Team Catoni runner from Amersham in Bucks, is out. Not too much luck here at Alton Park for him. Not so though out the front. Fogarty's still in third, Whittam still in second, but we've seen this sort of performance from Jamie Whittam before on the RGV 250 Suzuki. And Jamie Whittam in 1991, now he's back under the Mick Grant banner, is looking so confident and not at all on the ragged edge, and almost as though he can steal the lead back when he wants it.
Yeah, albeit he's very young. James has a lot of experience, and he rode a superb race at Donington Park to grab the lead on the final few bends, and possibly he's looking to do that again, but he's got a threat behind him this time, because Carl Fogarty's looking very, very dangerous here, and there's no way that you can afford to leave too many doors open for Carl Fogarty.
Well, Jamie Whittam came up through the ranks and is no stranger to 250cc. Mick Grant put him on the 750 and was amazed by the potential that the youngster had. And now, of course, back in the seat of a 250cc, what is tantamount to a production bike, road tyres and all. Jamie Whittam really showing his style and form, and his rear end positively glaring in the face of Carl Fogarty, number 31, who's having to settle for third. But Steve Ives would like to shake them off, but it's not going to be that easy, I can assure you, with two determined professionals, and that's the only way to describe them. Whittam and Fogarty, two of the more dedicated younger talents in the business, and Steve Ives then with Whittam on the inside just cannot break the toe. He cannot get the Stockport Motorcycle Centre Yamaha any further away than that. Nothing between them, just a split second, cover the three as they go over the line again.
Steve Ives takes the fastest lap, a clear half a second, nearly a second. In fact, as I speak, Carl Fogarty goes even quicker. Carl Fogarty nearly a second under the lap record. It seems that virtually every race we've had here today, the riders have been lapping in the race about a second quicker than qualifying, which is quite unusual, apart from the fact that we did have changeable conditions. So Carl Fogarty now has the fastest lap, which is also a lap record.
Well, watching the pictures now tell the story, and the weather conditions here absolutely perfect. Very fitting for Alton Park to welcome back the Super Cup Series and see racing of this level. Now the race leader, Steve Ives, dragging Jamie Whittam with him ever so slightly, and despite the fact Carl Fogarty put in the fastest lap, there's been a reply from the race leader, the second place man, as they've stretched away just a little bit.
In fact, the pace now is so hot, they're nearly 2 seconds under the lap record. It's quite amazing. 2 seconds is an awful long time on a circuit this short.
Well, looking at our computer here, we can tell you that Howard Selby is in 4th place. Max Vincent, number 9, has been relegated to 5th. Steve Reed still in 6th. And number 7, Adrian Butcher from Canterbury in Kent, is in 7th place. So these three in a class of their own. That may sound like a cliche, but there's no other way I can describe the way these three are riding. There's absolutely no one else in the same race.
No, there isn't at all. And Steve Ives just gradually pulling away a few metres there. A bit like Fogarty looks for the inside. If Jamie Whittam's not careful, Fogarty could slow him up by trying to dive up the inside and in fact slowing the pair of them up. This would be just what Steve Ives would want, but it doesn't seem that he's able to make that break. Whittam's closed him back down again. These machines, they're totally different, as I spoke earlier, but some of them have power, different power characteristics, so they might be faster on the torque sections, and some of them have more top speed, but the gap now, as you can see, very, very small.
.400 Supersports introduced to the Shell ACU British Championships. Oh, and Jamie Whittam. That was very nearly what can only be described as a high side. The back end stepped out, but unflappable Jamie Whittam just kept the power on. Came out of the saddle. He knew what was going to happen. Steve, that was pretty dramatic stuff.
Yeah, well, they're coming out of this corner. They're actually in second gear on these machines. Whittam's got the power on hard. You see the rear end slide. He shuts the throttle, it grips, and tries to throw him over the top of the bike. Yeah, you're right. That was a high side situation that Jamie managed to get under control. But it just shows as the tyres get hotter, they tend to lose their maximum performance because they get very, very hot and sticky, which on a slick tyre is fine because it's designed for that. But in all honesty, these tyres are road tyres. It just shows how good road tyres can be, because you can never, ever reproduce this sort of force and speed on the road, and these tyres are doing a great job, but Whittam just overcooked it fractionally there.
Well, mercifully, the tyre didn't let go completely, and Jamie's reflexes were so quick, instantaneously just backed the power off. And just enough, really, to stop the whiplash effect and throwing him over the top. Still in second place, that will have detuned him ever so slightly and given Steve Ives maybe the opportunity just to stretch that lead. Ives already leading the championship with only one win to his credit. He won at Snetterton in round 1. He was then runner-up at Donington. He was third at Brands and fourth at round 4 at Cadwell. On his way now to another 20 points here. Steve Ives looking as though, with one round to go, the 400cc title is going to be his, and his ambition for this year was to win the 600 class. Now the chasing bunch. Number 5, Jason Vincent. Number 53, looks to me like Jeremy McWhiss. Not, it's Howard Selby from North Berwick. So Howard Selby, who was in 4th place, has now been passed by Vincent, who's moved his way back up. So there must have been a problem with Jason Vincent. He was in 4th. He slipped back, and now these are the two Vincent brothers again. Numbers 5 and 9, Jason and Max Vincent from Earl Shilton, just up the road from the Mallory Park circuit. Sons, as I said, of Chris Vincent, the former British sidecar champion, and Jason Vincent, the Shell Gemini award winner, and what a start for a youngster that is.
Yeah, it was a great start, but Max Vincent now goes into 4th spot, so he's the man that's on the charge. A great move out of the chicane there, so that's number 9 now. Max Vincent goes into 4th spot.
Steve Reed, number 28, behind the Vincent boys. There he is. But with Steve Reed, he was the 5th fastest qualifier, came off the front row. And behind him, number 7, Adrian Butcher on the KR1 Kawasaki, the greenback, number 7. So, the Vincent boys then with Max, number 9, out in front of Jason. Gap now between race leader, number 1, Steve Ives, and Fogarty in 3rd place is 0.58 of a second, and right in the middle, the filling in the sandwich, is Jamie Whittam on the RGV 250 Suzuki. And remember, these are virtually road machines. They've just, as Steve Parrish said, been taken to pieces and reassembled absolutely meticulously, and presumably all the rough edges and all the nasty bits taken out.
That's right. They can get them about 10% more horsepower. They changed the exhaust system also, which helps the gas exit the engine, and also helps the inlet. If the exhaust pipe is working efficiently, it allows the engine to draw more fuel. So about 10 to 15% more power than the standard road version.
Whittam now slipping back into the clutches, really, of Carl Fogarty, who's had a new lease of life on the Honda. Carl Fogarty, number 31, getting a bit serious now about Jamie Whittam. Might even be that Jamie Whittam's had a bit of a tyre problem, because he has let Steve Ives go. Ives then on the Stockport Motorcycle Centre Yamaha, still in the lead. Fogarty goes through on the inside. Whittam now relegated to 3rd, so the reverse is happening. We felt that Jamie Whittam might be biding his time and going for the win, but in fact he's slipping backwards. He has a problem. There you have it. The thumb was down.
Yeah, thumb was down. It was either, I would guess, a tyre problem. The machine looks fast enough. He was just saying that he has a problem, so his pit crew knew that he wasn't slacking and that he wasn't not riding it properly. So Mick Grant will be well aware what's going on in the pit. So Jamie Whittam has a problem, and I would guess going for a safe 3rd spot now. He has a pretty safe 3rd, because it's getting on for 20 seconds now, back to the 4th spot person. So, as I speak, Jamie Whittam looks to go back into 2nd, so it can't be that drastic a problem.
The nature of this race is such that we cannot take our eyes off the action for a second, because anything can happen. Fogarty is by no means in a second place. Number 45, the faller there, that's Ian Bennett from Prestwood. Bennett, as you can see, perfectly okay, just being assisted off the scene by the marshals, sits down on the bank and takes his helmet off. So no injury there, but an incident took Bennett out of the running. Battle now for second and third. Jason Vincent still in fourth place, Steve Reed back up to fifth, and number 7, Adrian Butcher. Butcher on the David Brown Kawasaki on the leaderboard, so he'll be pleased with that. In the top 6, that's 10 points for 6th place. Very nice, thank you. Fogarty, a nervous look almost over the shoulder. Look at Whittam. Whittam's on the inside and going like a demon on the brakes. Whittam goes through again. So quite what the thumbs down was all about, I've no idea. Fogarty's back in third. Whittam's in second. That was a determined effort.
Yeah, it really was. He just got on the inside, a very positive move, but now Fogarty's on the inside of him for the next corner. Fogarty has the line and he managed to push Jamie Whittam out. Nothing Whittam can do apart from switch back to the inside and see if he can get the drive out the corner. But whatever the problem was, it seems to have rectified itself, because Whittam was having a little wave at Carl Fogarty there, saying, "Excuse me, can I come by?"
It's evident, isn't it, that they enjoy the racing. I mean, they really are. These two absolutely loving this duel. Nothing better, I suspect, Steve, than having this sort of race when you're dueling with someone you can trust, you understand that they're capable, you can really race rather than having a solitary ride. And Whittam going through on the inside, but can Fogarty chop back, get the power on the Yamaha? A brilliant undertaking move, if I can use the expression.
It actually looked like Carl went in the corner a bit hot then, and he couldn't brake hard enough. He wasn't able to keep the inside line, which opened the door for Jamie Whittam to nip through. So that gave him the classic opportunity. But yet Carl and Jamie have raced against each other for many, many years, and I'm sure they've got a great deal of trust. You see Jamie Whittam weaving around, trying to break the slipstream. He knows that the Honda's a bit faster, and sure enough, Carl Fogarty goes through into second.
What a cracking race for second place too, and out in front Steve Ives, let's not forget him, number 1 on the Yamaha, is out in front and has gone, absolutely gone into the woods, Steve Ives, as these two duel for this valuable 17-point position. Whittam sitting in 11th place in the championship with that one solitary win at Donington on 20 points, is going for 17 here. He's not going to improve on that, but it could be 15 if he lets Carl Fogarty go past. A little bit of money at stake as well, so £300 will go to the win. These two are scrapping over the difference between £200 and £140.
We're actually looking at the leaders now, because Steve Ives has gone. He's not just gone into the distance, he's disappeared somewhere on the circuit. In fact, he's dropped back. We've just come past, he's in third spot now. So Steve Ives has made a mistake somewhere, and now we're looking for the lead. So that's why the battle is getting very furious here, because at the moment we're looking at the leader, Carl Fogarty.
Well, not a little bemused. Whatever happened there, we don't know, but Ives has indeed gone from the leaderboard. It certainly wasn't apparent on our monitors. We didn't get to see what happened to Steve Ives. The computer now is showing him, well, in second place, so that's obviously wrong. So we'll have to bring you the update as soon as we can. This now is then the battle for 20 points. Forget 17, 20 for the win. Fogarty out in front. Thank you, Steve, for that update.
Yeah, well, Steve Ives, he's made a mistake somewhere, because he came past the commentary point in third spot as we started this lap, so he can only assume he's taken to the slip road somewhere, and there's not many places to do that. Maybe at the chicane he went up the slip road, and if he goes up the slip road he has to get back on the circuit at the same spot, so he would have lost that time.
Race leader then, number 31, Carl Fogarty. Right with him, his shadow, Jamie Whittam, on the Suzuki number 69. It's a 400cc Honda 4-stroke versus a 250cc Suzuki 2-stroke. Whittam right on the back wheel of Fogarty. Over the brow of the hill, a look over the shoulder from Fogarty, and Whittam's on the inside. He's going to try and squeeze through. Fogarty looks left, Whittam goes right, and yes, he's in on the brakes. Fogarty having to settle for second best, but we've seen a repeat of that dose before. Whittam almost on the grass, but he's switched back across to the right-hand side of the circuit. Fogarty's going to go for the inside line, and he is. He's done it before. as they go into the last lap. Whittam riding hard round the outside. Well, Steve, this is breathless.
Yeah, I don't really want to watch this. Jamie Whittam, if only, I mean, he did make that move then, but he needs to do that on the last lap if he wants to win it, because Carl Fogarty does have the speed. Fogarty, I think, will sit behind him till they get onto the back straight as they come out of Boulston's corner. He will try and pass Jamie Whittam, but Jamie Whittam still has the opportunity as they come into Lodge.
Unbelievable 400cc Supersports race then. Halfway round the 12th and final lap, and they'll have completed nearly 33 miles at this point in the proceedings at a breathtaking pace, and Jamie Whittam on the 250 Suzuki maybe just has got enough of a gap between himself and Carl Fogarty. Who knows? Fogarty, though, is devilishly late on the brakes when it comes to it, and will drive that Honda up the inside if he can. And again weaving away. This is where it happened last time. The Honda's very quick, and Fogarty goes past, but Jamie does have the answer. He's shown his hand. Can he do it? Well,
he's shown his hand, and Carl Fogarty's going to know it. I think you're going to see Carl Fogarty exiting the last corner before Lodge as they go around there, and I think he'll keep the inside line to block Jamie Whittam, but we might see something extraordinary from Whittam to go around the outside. Who knows? Jamie's very, very determined. Now he's on the power. He's hard on the power as best he can. Carl Fogarty would be better off keeping an eye in front, not behind, I think, and getting the inside line. Whittam will look. He's looking on the outside, but no, I don't think he can do it. Fogarty's got enough lead, unless Fogarty runs wide.
Last bend then. Out of here, the line inside. Fogarty gets it, weaving across. What a brilliant win for Carl Fogarty, and they loved it. Jamie Whittam, not at all disappointed with second place. He will have known that they've given the crowd something to thrill about here at Alton Park. There it is, that says it all. Carl Fogarty then took that win. Whittam, exhausted, I think, is the only way I can describe Jamie Whittam. Got to be tiring at that sort of pace.
Yeah, it was a great race, and I'm sure they both enjoyed it. But Steve Ives will be very disappointed. He got third spot, but the consolation is he got the fastest lap and the lap record here at Alton Park. But very disappointing for Steve Ives on the Yamaha.
Nevertheless, third place for Steve Ives does mean that he's holding on to the championship lead. Steve Reed came over in what I think is fourth place. There's the race winner, Carl Fogarty, number 31, by the narrowest of margins from Jamie Whittam. Ives, there you see it, 15 points for him. Steve Reed, brilliant fourth place. Max and Jason Vincent, the two boys from Earl Shilton, 5th and 6th. They'll be partying tonight.